people think it's confusion, but it's disruption. It's a space between who you are and who you're becoming. It's at the intersection.
Welcome everyone to Global Educators to a brand new episode. This episode is called Clarity in Chaos. Do you feel like you have a lot of chaos in your life right now and you feel like you just can't get away or get out of this mayhem? Well, we might have the answer. Not me, but our speaker today. She is a TedX speaker. Her name is LaShatá Marie Grayson. She's a visionary executive director, dynamic speaker, and dedicated wellness advocate. Her career spans over a decade of work in education, from primary schools to higher education and edtech. Her mission is to walk alongside others as they navigate life's complex and often overwhelming journey, ensuring no one ever feels alone in the process. Now, she uses her story to empower others, especially leaders, to embrace the beauty of carrying the weight, to pull back the layers and show up fully in their lives and work. Thank you, Ms. LaShatá, for agreeing to do this with me and spending this evening with us on our side of the world, but it's good morning for you. I hope you had a lovely week so far. And thank you for joining us again. Please introduce yourself.
Yes. So my name is LaShatá Marie Grayson, and she kind of said it in a nutshell, but what you need to know is I focus really on leadership, intersection of wellness, and I do it with two agencies. One is called Caring, really help people realize that they're off of you, whether it's physical of leadership, wellness, and clarity. I really just help people navigate life when it feels heavy, uncertain, or overwhelming. I really believe clarity isn't something we build, especially in the middle of chaos. And that was what my talk talked about. Really trying to find clarity when life is really hitting you hard and everything is happening.
Let's talk about chaos. Please define chaos for us.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, chaos is a moment. It's when stuff feels loud. Chaos can be unorganized. It's anything that you feel like is out of your control. When plans fall apart, right? That's chaos. When expectations shift at work, with your partner, with your friends. I tell people it's the version of life you imagine, but no one kind of fits into that reality, right? Chaos, a lot of people think it's confusion, but it's disruption. It's a space between who you are and who you're becoming. It's at the intersection. And so I tell people all the time, it's no clear way to say this is chaos. It's multiple things happening at once that are intersecting.
What do you think are like top three, would you say, common chaos that females face?
When life is changing, when we're a lot of women, when we're experiencing we're developing in pregnancy, right? Your life is transitioning to something you didn't think it was, in good or bad way. Seasons of your life that is changing. Your body, right? From a health standpoint, physically, is changing when you're aging. And if we go a little bit deeper for women, women that are 50 plus really start to elevate and change. But I really want to target women in high school that go off to college, right? I think the biggest changes that they see is the identity they have with their parents versus the identity that they have by themselves, right? And that's a lot of time where chaos starts to happen and start to change. I think this notion too of figuring out what's next in life. That's a big change. Your friends start to change too. Who you once was and who you are becoming is two different people. It's a lot when you're trying to kind of figure things out.
Let's pick up a call and see what our audience has to say. Thank you for calling. What is your chaos?
The thing chaotic in my life right now, I just got broken up. And also I did bad on my A finals today, so
And
it is miserable.
how are you dealing with the chaos in your life?
I don't know, to be honest, there's actually two ways I do it. One, I play games. Two, I smoke. That's it.
Smoking is
Ain't
not a
nothing
healthy
else I do.
way.
I know that ain't healthy. At
Mhm.
least I can relieve my stretch, bro.
And how do you feel when you're playing video games?
I feel good, not gonna lie.
You you remember being a teenager yourself, what would like be one advice you would give to your younger self?
Advice I would give to my younger self, relax. I don't have to rush to fix things. The advice I would give to my younger self is enjoy the season that I'm in, of being taken care of being able to do the things that I want. When I was a teenager, I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to go. I was like, I can't wait to move out this house. Like, I can't wait to be on my own. And I think I didn't really take out the time to just enjoy the life that I had, because that when that season closed, it's over. And so enjoy the moments where you just get to chill. Enjoy the moments where you just get to play your video game. Enjoy the moments where you're on vacation from high school and it's a break and you do nothing. Or if someone is taking care of you, enjoy those moments where you don't have to pay bills and you can just be, right? When you start to enter past being a teenager into younger adulthood, the chaos really starts to happen, because the moment in which you was able to be is not there anymore. And so I would tell my younger version of me to just be.
Someone just is sad about failing their test history test. Do you have any advice for young teenagers who are failing or falling behind and feel like that those uncomfortable moments are never ending? Like it feels like they're never going to get out of that rabbit hole, or like
That's a great question. I think with this particular answer about failing the test, realizing that it's still another opportunity, right? And then also realizing that what needs to happen next. What do I need to reassess? How do I need to get in this better space? In full honesty, high school was a struggle for me. I got to a space where I was starting to pass tests and starting to do different things, but also realizing that I was comparing myself to a lot of different people. I was also not studying the way I needed to. And so questions that I would ask the individual, okay, so we failed. Let's move past that. We can't stay in those feelings. And so moving past that is, how do we recenter our nervous system, whether that's going for a walk, whether that's breathing. I think what you're experiencing right now is the emotions of your brain, your heart, your body is in that shock, flight, or fight mode.
So one thing that I loved about your bio is that you started as a teacher and now you've become this amazing speaker, this CEO, a director, an advocate, and mentor. It's lovely how you started as a teacher, because I'm a teacher myself. A lot of my, females in my community are also teachers. So if we could go back to your days when you were a teacher, what was the biggest chaos? Or what were the most chaotic moments when you were a teacher?
Oh, that's a good question. So I was a special education teacher. I taught K through fourth. I think the most chaotic times is I didn't have support. So I had students, when we think about special education and special needs, I had students with behavior issues. I had students that were just coming on the spectrum, and I also had students that really couldn't comprehend. We also had some reading issues. And so K through fourth means I had a wide range of these individuals in my classroom. And so I think the chaotic part was learning how to manage all these things without support and learning how to advocate for myself. One of my students had behavior issues, and so he's a flyer. We have to, call security or pin him down, or whatever the case may be. And I didn't really know how to manage all of those things that was happening. And I was a younger teacher, so I didn't know how to advocate for myself to get more help in the classroom. I work for a public school, and so a lot of times funding looks different, especially now with teaching and people coming in. And so I didn't know how to speak up for myself. The chaotic thing was having all these different people, different personalities, different needs, and how do I, as an individual person, accommodate all these people by myself? And so I think that was one of the most chaotic things, is learning how to advocate for myself as a teacher and advocate for my students, because, and I think the last part, which is really important, learning my capacity based off the student need. Some students with special, learning styles and accommodations need different things. And sometimes it's out of the scope of what the school can provide. And so I really had to understand my capacity, but it weighed on me a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I put a lot of pressure on myself that I didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. Did those ever make you feel like you want to give up teaching? Did you transition into what you're doing now because of not having the right tools? What kind of made you, like leave that career behind?
Yeah. When I was teaching, I wasn't happy and fulfilled, and I wanted to do something different, but still in education. And so that's when I decided to get my master's in higher education. And that's when I started to transition into college students. It still was hard for me to leave that world of education, of elementary education. I think that's the thing that we don't talk about when it comes to chaos. I felt like I was rushing to fix everything instead of asking questions. And so I took out probably like a year to just ask myself questions on what did I like about my job, what I didn't like about teaching, what can be something that is transferable, right? And then also this notion of like, why does this matter? I think when I'm thinking of me as a teacher, I had to realize because it was chaotic, what mattered, what needed to be released, and what had I been avoiding. I think what mattered is I cared about those students. What needed to be released is that I need to be in a different space and do something different that fulfilled me. And what was I avoiding? Speaking up for myself. And so I realized that chaos really strips away the things that's what's unnecessary and forces us that really have clarity. And so because of that, I decided, hey, I want to do something different. And that led me into college students.
Speaking of chaos, are there any benefits and merits to chaotic?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The biggest thing, and I get excited about that because growth happens in discomfort. It is uncomfortable when you are dealing with multiple things, when you're dealing with things you have to avoid. Um, Chaos is uncomfortable, but that's when you start to really learn a lot about yourself. That's when you start to realize the challenges and the things and how you kind of overcome them. And so I tell people all the time, chaos is really beneficial because you're uncomfortable. And the best growth happens when you're uncomfortable. When you, when you're comfortable, you're doing the same things. You think this is going to work forever. I was uncomfortable being a special education teacher. So I had to be uncomfortable to get where I'm doing now.
In our previous call, we talked about how it's important to react. Our reaction is like
Mm.
the most important thing when it comes to chaos. What are the proper ways to respond to chaos?
So that's a great question. Acknowledging it. Acknowledge what you are feeling. Name the feeling. I think we are not naming how we are feeling. And am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? Am I angry? Right? Acknowledge that this is happening. Life is a little bit different. Life is hard. Next thing I think, and I said this in my talk, who are the people that you need to be around? Whether that's friends, whether that's family, who are the key people that you need to support you during this time? And support doesn't necessarily mean financial needs. It could mean calling me. It could mean checking on me. What are the things that you actually need? And then also, I think really creating this space to figure out how to move to the next thing. What is it that is happening? But I think community is really key when chaos is happening. I went through multiple different changes. I've lost a job. I've, been unemployed. I've been in a low space where I'm questioning why is this happening to me? And I'm sad, right? And so I had to realize who are the people that I need around me to help me keep going. What lesson am I supposed to be learning during this time? And so those are the key things. One, acknowledging your emotions and acknowledging that you're upset. That is really key. And finding those people. And then also finding ways to feel you joy. I love listening to music. I am a music connoisseur. I love a good playlist. I'm going to put it on. Because it brings me joy. So what is it that really brings you joy? Because like I said, your nervous system, we're thinking about all the different things that's going on within your body because we can't stay there. Chaos sometimes makes us stay in low spaces instead of really figuring out how do I get to this place of clarity.
What are some tips to get clarity when you feel like everything is obscure, hazy, and
Mhm.
it feels like you're not moving forward, or it feels like your life is not moving anywhere?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing I say, clarity isn't found by escaping chaos. So you're trying to run from it, you're trying to just act like nothing is happening. It is found by walking through with intention. And so what is intention? Stillness and reflection. I'm not a journaler, but I'll process and I'll just stay still for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Writing things out instead of holding on to them. Whether you're writing them in your phone or your notes, because I love my notes tab, writing it out, getting some things out. We cannot just have these things sitting inside of me. Through therapy, coaching, trusted conversations, whether that's a friend, whether that's someone that you really trust. And I think the most important one is letting go of what we thought life should look like, letting go of what we thought it should be. Whether that's a high school student that's letting go of, oh, I should have been a straight A student, letting go of the high expectations that society sets. Really, we don't set. And so letting go of those things. I am one of eight, right? And so I am one of eight, and I have to let go of a lot of things as it relates to being the oldest growing up. And so I don't know if high school students or your listeners can connect with that. Just being the oldest, sometimes it's a level of expectation and pressure because you're the first one. And so I had to let go of the thought of what things should be.
I like that. I like that line. Letting go of what I thought. Give us the backstory. Like, what made you, realize that, letting go of societal expectation is important. Letting go of those, what I thought should be like, what point in life kind of made you realize that letting go is important?
I would say right as I went from high school to college to realizing that teaching wasn't for me to changing careers multiple times when I was allowed to change. And I think that's the key with letting go, realizing that I can change my mind. If you still have breath to breathe this air that we have, I can change my mind. And so that was that transition from being a teacher and realizing that it's not working. And so I let go of this track of I thought I was going to be a teacher, then a principal, then I was just going to, this was going to be my life.
Mhm.
Right. And so also I had to realize that letting go meant that it was a different assignment coming. A lot of people don't realize each assignment in life, whether that's high school, whether that's after high school, whether that's, in your 30s on in, it gets you closer and closer to the assignment that you have for yourself, that you are supposed to be doing. That is purpose. When people say, like, I have purpose, like my purpose is this, your purpose is to truly be doing whatever it is that fulfill you. And these tasks, chaos are getting you there. And so really understanding those things. And I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't let go of the image that I was supposed to be a principal, right? That I was supposed to be in teaching.
Mhm.
And now I'm connected to way more people doing way more impact because I let go of that image.
Wow. Can you share a little bit more about the benefits of letting go?
Yeah, I think the benefits is you're allowing yourself to experience multiple different things and knowing that it's going to happen within the timing and the alignment, right? And so I tell people all the time, it's not that you would never experience a no, it's how you respond to it. It's how you respond to getting a bad grade on a test. It's how you respond to someone not showing up for you. It's how you respond to if you got a significant other, a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever the case may be, how you respond. It's all about the response. And so letting go made me realize that I needed to work on my responses and how I combat things. Letting go allowed me to experience so many different things in life. I've traveled across the world. I met so many different people. Letting go allowed me to honestly, I've lost about 50 pounds because I prioritize my health, because I had time to. Letting go allowed me to really just have fun. I think I was so focused on I had to get straight A's in high school. I have to do this, and then I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Life is not going to go as you think it will plan. It's no 1 to 100. There's no roadmap to success. And so I tell students, high school students, there are 50 ways to get to a location. Just because you have this one way in your mind, that is not the only way.
Wow, that's profound. That's a lot of wisdom. Like golden, golden, golden advice. Thank you. Okay, I do want to go back a little bit about special education because
Okay.
neurodiversity is one of the main, topics that I talk quite often. Do you think it's a little bit different, or if is it harder for people who are neurodivergent to, navigate the societal pressures and, fit into society? Like, not that I'm saying we have to fit into society, but do you think it's a little bit harder for people who are neurotypical?
I wouldn't say harder, I would say different. It is different. It
Mm-hmm.
is a different experience. And I think it's a lot of things that's not out there, right? This notion of that's why I started, Black Girls Who Lift and carrying the weight because it's not a lot of people that know the things that they need to know. I was a special education teacher, and there's not a lot of people that knew how to work with someone who's autistic. They didn't know how to work with someone that might need to take a moment to breathe, right? They didn't know. And so when people don't know, it makes your experience different. And so for me, because I was diagnosed with anxiety and ADHD. And so I take medication. I tell people that I talk about that experience, but I had to learn a lot more about myself and what does help look like for me and what providers that I needed because I have to teach people how to treat me, how to care for me in workspaces. And in college, I had to do this, all of those things because people don't know. And I feel terrible that people don't even try to know. It's so much technology, it's so much information out here, and people are not trying. And so that's what makes it different. That's what makes the experience a challenge for people because it's like, why don't you care? Why aren't you trying? And when you are going through those different type of things, my advice for someone is to start to understand more first and foremost about yourself. I didn't see the signs about my ADHD and anxiety in high school. I saw a little bit, but I saw it more in college and I wasn't paying attention to a lot of things. So really being in tune with myself to figure out this is an issue, how someone is talking to me, how the teacher is educating is not conducive to me. I am a visual learner. I didn't learn that till like I was like 25 that I needed visuals, right? And so I think people that are experiencing different things with themselves, especially, learners, diverse learners, start to figure out things about yourself. What are some things that you need? And don't be afraid to say you need them to thrive because that's going to be helpful. The more you understand about yourself. And I think the other challenge is with healthcare and resources. It costs. It's expensive to get the support you really need. And that's what was frustrating to me when I was a special education teacher. Seeing someone not being able to read, seeing someone that need way more than what we can give them, and we don't have it. And so you create this space of a person just not having what they need. And when you don't have what you need to get your needs met, you end up in chaos.
Mm. Wow. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you. So you're not just a speaker, you have a lot of would you say it's psychology related to psychology, or would you say it's more
I
of
think it's more. lived experiences have helped me a lot. So that's how I can relate to all of these different things because one, I was a special education teacher, so I've seen it firsthand and
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading, I'm doing goals on IEPs, I'm advocating for those students. And then I went through my own experience with
Mm-hmm.
learning. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you go through your own experience and you realize like it's so many doctors telling you different things about yourself, and like this not working and this not working, and
Mm-hmm.
no one knows how to care for you, you start to figure out like, okay, I got to make some changes. So I think a lot of my experiences have really helped me with this work.
As we wrap up, what is your one last message to everyone listening?
I think my one last message for anyone that's listening, I don't care, high school, teacher, chaos doesn't mean you're lost. You're not lost. It means that you're being shaped, you're being molded into the person that you're meant to be. Clarity doesn't arrive all at once. You don't find clarity just in one time, it unfolds, right? It chooses honesty, alignment, courage over fear. And sometimes when we think about the chaos you're in right now, it's guiding you towards the person you're meant to become. And so it's how you respond to chaos. Who is it that you need in your corner? How are you paying attention to your body and how you are feeling? And so the key thing, if you don't remember anything from this live and this conversation, is you're not lost. And it's taking you really into the space and place that you need to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No
And thank you all
problem.
for tuning in and make sure to subscribe so you can get notified for videos just like these. See you in my next video.